Okay, my name is Raina Rooney, and I'm doing my program on energy drink consumption with adolescents and young adults. So, energy drinks globally, we're looking at that first. They are currently not regulated in the United States because they are a dietary supplement, and so there is no requirements for regulating these types of drinks. Um, so, a couple countries that have prohibited all caffeinated energy drinks include Denmark, Uruguay, and Turkey. In Norway, energy drinks can only be sold in pharmacies, and in places like Sweden and Australia, the sales to children under 15 years old are banned. There are also labels about the effects of consuming these drinks after exercise and mixing them with alcohol. And then 11 out of 16 states in Germany have banned Red Bull because they have found trace amounts of cocaine in the drink. Australia is currently trying to classify drinks as pharmaceutical products so they can be regulated. So this is an ongoing debate about restricting the sales and advertising of energy drinks internationally. So focusing more on a local level, I'm going to look at the adolescents and young adults in Anchorage, Alaska. And a reason for doing this program is because as of right now, there's currently no safe levels of consumption. They haven't been established for young adults or adolescents. And since no one at this time can define the safe levels of the energy drink, I think they should be regulated in such a way that is similar to alcohol, tobacco, and prescription medications until proven otherwise. This is an important problem to look at with our youth because more and more teens are tending to overextend themselves with work, school, sports, and socializing and other activities. An adolescent psychologist in New York stated that teens get the message from adults that caffeine is a good way to get energy or feel good, so they are turning to energy drinks to boost their productivity. Another doctor mentioned that if teens continue to always be caffeinated up while studying, they could possibly develop state-dependent learning. This is when you only perform well on a test when you're caffeinated because that is the state in which you were learning the material. According to self-reported surveys, energy drinks are consumed by 30 to 50% of adolescents and young adults. And these drinks usually contain high and unregulated amounts of caffeine, and they have been reported to have adverse effects such as seizures, diabetes, cardiac abnormalities, and mood and behavior disorders like anxiety. And the reasons for drinking these drinks include inadequate amounts of sleep, a need for energy, and wanting to mix them with alcohol. And also, a teen pediatric doctor named Ebo Blankson works at an adolescent clinic. He stated that he is noticing classic anxiety symptoms in teens. After discussing their energy drink consumption and the reason for their symptoms like a racing heart and feeling jittery or not being able to sleep, he concluded that these could be linked to overcaffeination or energy drink withdrawals. Also, out of the 5,448 U.S. caffeine overdoses reported in 2007, 46% of those were in teens younger than 19 years old. Another issue that this population is dealing with energy drinks is combining them with alcohol. A can of a caffeinated alcoholic beverage may be equivalent to drinking a bottle of wine and a few cups of coffee. Consuming more than one of these drinks or mixing them with additional alcohol can be very dangerous, Dr. Blankson noted. Studies are showing that combining alcohol and energy drinks can lead to the individual to perceive that they are feeling less of the intoxication effect. So they usually combine energy drinks with alcohol so that they can drink more and not have the side effects of or just have lesser side effects of like a headache or feeling weak and muscle coordination or impairment. So they basically use the energy drink to kind of mask the alcohol impairment. Another study found that energy drink consumption is associated with more injuries. So kids are wanting to participate in high-risk sports or stunts, and we see that in the Red Bull commercial. They always say Red Bull gives you wings. These energy drinks have also been associated with an increase in drug use. So with all this being said, I am going to propose a solution to start an awareness program. So what we need to do is share all the current information and facts that we have at this point and let youth know that there are ways they can deal with stress and like how they can stay awake and energized without energy drinks. The purpose of this program would be to not only reduce the consumption of energy drinks but also empower this population to take care of their bodies and give them some tools or tips on how they can do that. Research is still being developed, but with the facts that we do know, I think we can make a solid argument that energy drinks are not good for adolescents or young adults. I want to implement an awareness campaign that could take place in high schools and universities. When implementing the program, I can see not only health educators who will be involved, but also teachers, principals, and other faculty members who could speak and do presentations about the negative health effects of energy drinks. Emails and flyers could be made and distributed using Facebook or Instagram and Twitter. Parents could also be told about the campaign in the school newsletter or at parent-teacher conferences. And schools, like, to make it more interesting and fun for this age group, they can make it a competition, like with different classes who could go 2 weeks without an energy drink, and there could be prizes for that. Students could also, in order to gather data to see if this program is working, students would take a survey at the beginning of the school year and at the end of the school year about their energy drink consumption. Another thing that I think could be part of the program is having replacing the vending machines with different healthier alternatives like smoothies or vegetable drinks like Odwalla or Naked brands. They could also have like fruit infused water dispensers like lemon water or fruity water. I saw this at my university in northern Arizona. They had like fruit infused water in the cafeteria. I thought that was a cool idea. Also, health educators could teach a class on how to deal with stress or lack of sleep and using other things besides energy drinks to stay awake and energized. So, in high school, part of the curriculum is taking a health class, so they could incorporate, this information about energy drinks and maybe into a section in the health class. So the values and benefits to decision makers. The decision makers would be the school administrators, faculty, employers of students, healthcare providers, sports coaches, parents, and then the priority population. The benefits for the youth would not only be improved health status and overall better quality of life and well-being, but also the teens could learn how to be productive naturally without supplements, and there would be lower health costs and even maybe less teens on anti-anxiety medications. The school administrators could see student attendance and academic performance increase because they're more focused and paying attention, and they're not all caffeine dependent. Coaches could also see athletes, their sports performance probably be more consistent, because if they get them off of energy drinks, drinking energy drinks before the game or a race, they become dependent on that. So they would be more dependent on themselves and on the drink. There would also be fewer injuries, because like I mentioned earlier, the risk-taking behavior that kind of increases with energy drink consumption. And yes, that is basically the overview of the values and benefits that I see for the decision makers. So why will this program be successful? There will be a lot of publicity, and it will be a constant campaign that the population will be reminded of every time they go to school. I just watched a documentary called Fed Up, and they discussed how the younger generations right now may not outlive their parents. And I thought, because of the obesity epidemic that is going on, so I thought this was an alarming statistic that is calling for action. If there's even a possibility that energy drinks lead to health problems, we need to address this issue now, because the population that consumes the highest amount of energy drinks is our youth and young adults. And so the campaign will provide simple, strong, repetitive, and consistent messages about energy drink consumption. I think that schools need to remove energy drinks for sale and start replacing them with the healthier alternatives that I mentioned. And so I was thinking, some people may argue that improving the nutritional quality of beverages in schools and making more healthful options available will reduce the revenue for the competitive junk food at school, but this was actually not the case. I found out in a different program called Make It Happen School Nutrition Success, 12 out of 17 schools that participated in this program said that their revenue actually increased, after they increased the availability of healthful beverages and food. Another health promotion program called Fresh Kids in Australia found that by having a supportive school environment that encouraged increases in water and fruit consumption, after 1 year, the proportion of children who would carry water bottles in their lunch boxes went from 0 to 25 to 50% of the kids doing that. So, like I said, this campaign will have incentives to participate, like the classroom competitions and campus events will be held in popular hangout areas for the youth. And also looking at the psychological perspective, when the majority of a group of people start doing a certain action, others usually follow what that new norm will be. So that's just like basic trends. People kind of go with what the majority does. And so I think having the cons of consuming energy drinks like laid out for this population, it may help them stop drinking energy drinks altogether or at least decrease their daily consumption. And and I think any decrease in energy drink consumption will be an indicator of success for this program. So thank you for watching my video and have a good night.